Let's move into 3A, where everybody had Bellmont advancing to the sectional championship game in our fantasy league, our Pick'em league. No, the Bellmont Braves did not win a game in the regular season. They win 2 in the postseason. They beat Garrett, okay, but they go to Concordia and beat Concordia 28-21. What is happening down in Bellmont? What is Marty Ballard telling these guys? Because they are, the surprise of the postseason so far.
All part of the master plan for Coach Ballard. Look, we're going to go out, we're going to lose 9 straight to start the year.
Right where we want them.
Exactly. Then you get a good draw with Garrett, you get some confidence, then you knock off Concordia at Zollner last week. So, Bellmont is a team that was 0-9, but we've seen them compete throughout the season. They lose by 3 to South Adams, 3 to New Haven. So this was a team that wasn't an embarrassing 0-9 by any means in terms of on the scoreboard. They could run the football, we knew that, and they're getting enough defensive stops, and some big plays from that defense last week was key to beat Concordia. So nobody thought they could beat Concordia, yet they do. Now nobody thinks they can beat Bishop Luers. I wouldn't bet against them, but I probably will.
Well, I mean, that's just the numbers and the history playing out. But, Jonathan Wilder has really established himself for the offensive side of the football. Colin Mills doing the same for Bellmont. And, yeah, you're feeling high. A lot of people talk about, when you talk about different states, they say, I can't believe, they can't believe Indiana's not seeded, and they can't believe that everybody makes the playoffs in Indiana. Yeah. This is a kind of one of those reasons why everybody makes the playoff, because it makes it interesting. And without that, Bellmont wouldn't have made the postseason, but yet here they are playing for a sectional championship, trying to put a trophy in the trophy case.
99% of the time, a winless team gets blown out in the first round of the playoffs, but that 1% of time when they're able to get 1 win and then another win, that's, to your point, why everybody makes the playoffs in this state. More often than not, it leads to blowouts in the first round, but occasionally you get a Bellmont that all of a sudden is playing for a sectional title.
And if you're Coach Ballard and you watched the tape last week of Bishop Luers beating West Noble, do not punt. It doesn't matter if it's Jordan Presley. It doesn't matter if it's Justin Gaston. Maybe they'll throw Jamie Johnson back there. I don't know. Maybe Kyle Lindsay will return punts. Whatever happens, do not kick the football to them, because on special teams, I think that's where the athleticism and the speed is most exacerbated.
Kick it out of bounds. I don't know how many returns, 2, then you're like, definitely not.
Remember when Austin Mack was returning kicks and people would not realize that you needed to kick it out of bounds every time he was back there?
What is it with playing Luers and just deciding you're going to kick to him? I mean,
no.
Turn around and kick it backwards. It's better off.
Kick it out of bounds and take the penalty.
Absolutely. So if Bellmont kicks off on Friday night and the order is not to just kick it out of bounds, then you're making a coaching mistake.
If it's sloppy, maybe onside every time.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Yeah. There's no point. And, that was a scoreless first quarter for Bishop Luers last week. I mean, you're like, look at West Noble kind of hanging.
West Noble's a good team.
Then they started punting to guys, and it was a big mistake.
Oh, it was a big mistake. And one of the things, I think statistically, if you look at the state leaders, Norman Kanapke's numbers, I mean, he is the leading passer in Northeast Indiana, and you don't think, with Presley and some of the other weapons, you don't think of Luers as a pass-first team, but there he is with over 2,000 yards passing and leading Northeast Indiana in passing yards.
And Kanapke, don't get me wrong, can throw a good ball. A lot of his talent, though, is finding those guys on those short routes.
Yeah, screens.
And the yards after catch is big time for him. But, hey, it all counts in your passing stats for sure.
And, Kanapke, Bishop Luers, playoffs, there's been a lot of success in the family.
Yeah, and, we were anticipating that big Bishop Luers and Concordia matchup in the final. We don't get it. I think it helps the Luers Knights, obviously, but don't look past Bellmont, because Concordia, I'm sure, would love to get last Friday back.